do think when you pick a color palette, it's important to kind of choose 3 to 5 colors that you're going to utilize instead of, unless you want a wedding. There are some weddings, and this is cool, where they've used all colors. Have you ever seen a wedding where they just use every color you can think of? And that's great. That itself is like your own palette. But in general, I would try to stick to 3 to 5 colors, and maybe only 1 or 2 of those being strong colors, instead balancing it with some more muted or more neutrals.
And speaking just
and
to
you might
like
want to
like the neutral, and I was going to touch on this later, but neutrals look great on a lot of different like skin tones.
That's a good point.
So if the girls aren't picking their dresses and you're going to pick it, you might think about going a neutral route. That doesn't mean it has to be light neutral, but a neutral is
something that's universally flattering.
Right. So this is a beautiful color. We've actually done a wedding in this color, and I mean it turned out beautifully. And I don't consider that really bright. Would you? I mean, not like glaring at you. And if I get this dress, like this would glare.
So hot pink was one of your colors.
Yeah, and so you wouldn't necessarily. I mean, this is not necessarily something you would think about. That you would, maybe if you didn't have any other hot pink, maybe if this was totally your accent, and that you loved hot pink and you wanted, but you wouldn't. Like she's talking about, she used it in her and she kept it neutral. So
we had a few pink and florals and that kind of thing, which complemented the aqua, but because you're also not going to find, if you like blue, there aren't a lot of flowers in blue anyway, so you want to use florals that kind of complement that color versus are that color. And then we pulled this gray dress too here because it kind of was a similar color, and it's a good, this dress actually is a little more formal than what my wedding was, but it would be great for a lot of different styles of weddings. I think it's pretty universal, and they added the sash to that.
yeah, and I think the sash on that one, don't you think it really dresses that one up?
There's all kinds of, you can play with all kinds of details too.
Yeah. Well, and then you can also add jewelry. Like for instance, if you saw this picture closer, all the girls have different jewelry. And it has a little aqua in it, but it's mostly gray, but it's all different. And so it added a little touch in what they were wearing, had a little touch of aqua. It wasn't all gray, so that they're not washed out either.
I want to add one thing to the picking your color thing, especially with the dresses. It's also kind of a good idea to think about the scenery of where you are. I know that it's easy for that to get lost. For example, I'm getting married on a golf course, which you think bright green and all kinds of bright sunny colors, but it's going to be in the middle of October. So I know the grass is going to be a little brown shade. So everything that I've picked is kind of playing off of that. That dress that we've done a group of dresses in this beautiful aqua color, and it was for a beach wedding. And that kind of played off the water. So that's a good thought.
You definitely should consider the venue, like where you're getting married, what colors are there, and then also the season. Like you probably don't want to pick an aqua dress for December. That would look a little, or a cute little pattern dress like this when you're getting married in the church. Things like that you want to think about.
Yeah, reds, like right now we have some December weddings, and a lot of people are gravitating towards, actually it's this color. This is called Black Cherry, and I think we have 3 that are doing it. It's just been very popular for December and January even.
It's good on all skin tones.
Right, yeah, it really is.
It's hard.
So, and of course you see, I think black is good year-round. I think you can really do that year-round. But the reds, kind of this you think fall, winterish, more olive, but
Yeah, absolutely. And then I want to show you another wedding that I did, which is very different than some of the other things we were talking about. It's very rustic. It was at a lake house clubhouse, so you can kind of see that picture right there. So it was by a lake, literally very, very casual. We wanted to use a lot of wood elements to play off the natural setting, so we did. We used wood on the tables. We used wood for the cupcake stands, stuff like that. And then, I don't bases are birch wood, and so we actually use wood bases. And some mason jars, kind of to play off that country casual theme. And they have twine on them too. But we wanted to kind of take it a step further and add something a little whimsical, because it was very important for this couple to have a fun wedding. Like, they were serving margaritas and barbecue, and there was a pool by the lake and stuff like that. So it needed to feel almost like you were going to a picnic kind of thing, like, or a party, clubhouse party by the lake. So we used pinwheels to kind of make it fun. She used wildflowers, and this was her altar where we used birch wood and burlap draping and did pinwheel garlic. We made tons of pinwheels. But my point about that is you can use a lot of different patterns. We used a lot of different patterns in paper and made the pinwheels all different colors. Her girls were wearing yellow, so that definitely was one of the main colors, but you can mix in other colors when it's in a pinwheel that's small and not something that's huge and greatly noticeable. So that kind of gave it a fun feel. And then, too, and I'll let Kerried touch on this, the girls wore all different dresses. Everybody picked their own dress. They kind of stayed within a cotton, like they were typically cotton dresses. It's not like you saw a satin dress out there by the lake, because that would look a little weird. And some of them had patterns and some of them didn't. And even though they weren't all the exact same color yellow, it went well together. She had several different girls, so that it was cool to kind of see that different range. Yeah. We pulled this dress thinking that that would be a good example if you wanted to incorporate a little pattern for an outdoor wedding.
So I think this, and then we pulled the yellow. There's also a pink back there, but you can see these would really complement each other if they were to wear it together in this setting. So, and this is definitely a little more poppy, but this, I think, can go with a lot of patterns too. This fabric does, but we pulled the yellow. There's also a pink that we have. And honestly, we can get it in any color, but it's what we had here today that we wanted to pull, and which kind of even goes with that, I think. But yeah, so you can really mix and match a lot of different things. You could even we do a lot of, we'll do a solid top and a patterned bottom, and mix and match. Really, I think with this type of wedding, you can go a little bit more casual, a little different, and it's definitely something that the girls will wear.